Hello students. So today we are going to study a new topic, that is study of karyotypes from humans, Drosophila and grasshopper. So let us recall some important topics that we need to know to proceed with the karyotype study. As we know that each somatic cell in human body contains 46 chromosomes and each chromosome represents a single linear double-stranded DNA molecule. So they are normally present in relaxed or decondensed state. Now, chromosomes duplicate before cell division occurs. Duplicated chromosomes are clearly seen in the metaphase of mitosis. Basically, mitotic cell division or mitosis takes place in the somatic cells. It goes to various phases from interphase, prophase to metaphase to anaphase and telophase. So, in metaphase of mitosis, it is the stage in eukaryotic organisms where the chromosomes are there in their most condensed form. Therefore, this is the phase and this is the best phase and to count the number and to study the morphology of chromosome. So here keep in mind that the structure of chromosome in mitosis are actually representing the duplicate chromosome. Now we know that every chromosome is consist of two sister chromatids that are attached to each other along the length, except for one region where they are specifically bind, which is the region which is known as centromere. Here we need to understand one very important point, that each sister chromatid has its own centromere, but in the duplicated chromosome they are so tightly bind to each other at the centromeric region so that they cannot be distinguished separately. So we count only one centromere for a duplicated chromosome. Very important, right? So we are counting one centromere for a duplicated chromosome, that is till the time these sister chromatids are attached to each other. So how to count a chromosome? Now, now this is a somatic cell. It contains 46 chromosomes and these chromosomes are not visible individually in cell under normal conditions since they are not in their condensed form. But for our illustration, we are showing like this, that is, each chromosome has a centromere and two sister chromatids, or sorry, and two arms, not sister chromatids, one centromere and two arms. If this cell is destined to divide by, that is mitosis, then what will happen? It will first undergo chromosome duplication. Now remember, duplicated chromosomes are bound tightly to each other at centromeric region. So still the chromosome number will remain 46. Now as it undergoes mitosis, keep in mind that till metaphase the chromosome number is still 46. At anaphase, when these sister chromatids will separate at their poles, so at this time the total number of chromosomes will count to 92. That is, they will become twice or double the initial number of chromosomes. So we should keep this in mind and let's begin our topic today for karyotyping. Now what is karyotype and homologous chromosome? These two topics, they go side by side. Now this is a picture that you might have seen in many of the books. This is the picture of karyotype. It is a picture of chromosomes present in the somatic cell of an individual. So it is displaying the number and appearance of chromosome, as you can see. So how do we prepare karyotype? How do we prepare a karyotype in the laboratory? So first of all, the somatic cells are isolated, which are actively dividing cells, such as WBC, kind of WBC, that is lymphocytes are taken, right? So the cells should be actively dividing. So these cells are then treated with a drug so that mitosis can be induced. These cells are then grown in the culture for several days so that they can multiply in numbers and they undergo mitosis. Now next what happens, the cells are treated with colchicine. to arrest mitosis. It is a very important MCQ question also. Colchicine arrest mitosis. So it is an anti-cancer therapy also, chemical used in anti-cancer therapy also. So the mitosis is arrested at which stage it is arrested? So at the metaphase stage. So cells are chemically preserved and spread on the slide, and we can see them on the microscope. So cells are viewed with the help of a microscope, with help of a digital camera. Chromosomes are seen, as you can see, and on a computer monitor. And nowadays softwares are available on the computer which organize these chromosomes in this form according to their descending order. That is the largest chromosome, then towards the shortest chromosome. So as you can see, this is the karyotype of human chromosome. Since they are 2x, so it is a female karyotype of a female, human female, right? So in this karyotype, now you can see there is a chromosome. Now you can see it is a duplicated chromosome. So actually these are two sister chromatids bound with each other at the centromeric region, right? And it is a visual display of pairs of condensed duplicated chromosomes. Now you will understand why I am saying repeatedly these are duplicated chromosomes arranged by size, shape and the banding pattern. So karyotype contains duplicated chromosome. Now we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, right? So each pair consists of it is a pair that resemble each other with respect to length, centromere, position. So these chromosomes which occurs in pairs are known as homologous chromosome. Homology means they have the same basic structure, they look alike, they contain same genes in the same position along the chromosomes, but they are not identical. Now what do you mean by this? They have the same basic structure but they are not identical. That means they have different alleles, like we have done, they have either capital T or small t. So that is why they are not identical. One copy is from the maternal copy and other is the paternal copy. So we have 23 pairs of homologous chromosomes in humans. 22 pairs are same in both males and females, except the third, and these are known as autosomes, which are same in both males and females, except the 23rd pair is different. That obviously that you might know. Then what is the difference? In females it is X and X, right? And in males it is X and Y. These are known as sex chromosomes. So homologous chromosomes, if we these are also known as allosomes also. So we have 22 pairs of autosomes in our karyotype and one pair of allosome or sex chromosome in our karyotype. Now there arises one more question: why are these chromosomes in pairs? Why not only single chromosome is present? This is because to maintain the diploidy, we receive one copy from mother and one copy from the father. So an individual inherits one chromosome of a pair from each parent. That is why the chromosomes, they occur in pair. So that is why we have done that we have the carrier condition also, and carrier is saved from a particular disease sometimes due to this homology only. So this is known as homology. Homology means same size, same shape and same genes at the same position, right? So each human somatic cell has the same kind of karyotype and same kind of homologous chromosomes. This concept should, and these are the duplicated chromosome. Okay. So what is a karyotype? It is simply a picture of person's chromosome. So in order to get this picture, the chromosome should be isolated, stained and examined under the microscope. So normally white blood cells are taken and the picture is normally taken through the digital microscope. So this is a procedure that I have already explained you. Giemsa stain is used This is again same cheese, same thing is explaining. Now here I want you to please concentrate on this particular page. You should be very clear between the three terms: karyotype, karyogram and ideogram. So karyotype, as I have already told you, it is a representation of entire set of metaphasic chromosome in a cell, right? It is particular to an individual or to a related group of species like Homo sapiens. Karyogram is a graphic representation of a karyotype, right? It is a graphical representation arranged by their signs. Ideogram is a diagram that we draw to represent the characteristic features of a chromosome. That means it is based on physical characteristics, that is, it will show the bending pattern. Next is the figure, which will make you clear the three terms: see the karyotype, see the karyogram and see the ideogram. The bending patterns is shown in the ideogram. Next is again very important, our human chromosomes. Based on the conclusion of Denver's conference, they are classified into 7 groups. So we have 7 groups, A to G. So first to third they come under group A. They are metacentric or submetacentric. Then group B contains 2 chromosomes, submetacentric. Then C actually this is a very important MCQ questions, that X chromosome belongs to which group. By default we say it must be belonging to the group G, but no, it belongs to group C. Then group D contains 13 to 15th acrocentric with satellite chromosomes. They are also known as satellite chromosomes. 16 to 18 group E, short metacentric or submeta. Group F 19-20 short metacentric. Group G contains 21, 22 and Y chromosome. They are very short and acrocentric, right? So they are also with satellite chromosome. Y chromosome is similar to these chromosome, but it doesn't have Y doesn't have satellite at its tip. So this is the normal karyotype formula of male 46 with XY and female XX. So these are the alterations which are shown. So when sometimes non-disjunction occurs in the homologous chromosomes, these homologous chromosomes are unable to separate properly, like in the 2:2 ratio. You can see in the figure that in anaphase 1 you can see that instead of 2 to 3 and 1 chromosome have separated. This is known as non-disjunction. So the gametes will be formed will be n plus 1, n plus 1, n minus 1, n minus 1. So then there occurs the aneuploidy, and we have discussed all these defaults that we can have because of this non-disjunction. So the Cri-du-Chat, Down syndrome, Edwards syndrome, trisomy, Patau syndrome, that we have already discussed earlier, right? This is a graphical representation of metacentric, submetacentric, telocentric, acrocentric. This is again representation of a particular sister chromatids, long arm and short arm. So P is the short arm and Q is the long arm. Then chromosome labeling. How do we do the chromosome labeling? Again from MCQ point of question, this is very important. If you have been given 1q2.4, what does that mean? So 1 represent it is first chromosome, Q means long arm, 2 means it is the second region of the subregion of the chromosome, and 4 means it is the fourth band of that subregion. So these kinds of questions, they usually come in the entrances and they check your aptitude, which are normally not given in the books. So this is very important, you should note it down. Then we have already done this on what basis the karyotype is made, right? So metacentric, submetacentric, either they are acrocentric, this is the position. Next is what kind of banding we use. If we use G banding, G means we are staining with the Giemsa stain, right, after the digestion of chromosome with trypsin. So it gives light and dark stained bands. The dark regions are heterochromatin and they are AT rich. Light means they are light are euchromatin region and they represent GC rich region. So G banding gives us light and dark bands. If we want to see the banding, if we want to see the euchromatin and heterochromatin regions of a particular region of a particular chromosome, right? Next is the R banding. R banding is the reverse of G banding. That is, the dark regions are euchromatic and the light regions are and the bright regions are heterochromatic. Then C banding gives us constitutive heterochromatin. It stains centromere. MCQ question, very important, right? C banding is used to stains only centromeres. Then we have next we have Q banding. It is a fluorescent pattern. It is a fluorescent dye in quinquerine for staining. Then T banding for telomeres. We do T banding, silver banding, spectral banding, and digital. Spectral and digital are the karyotyping that we are doing, right? The types of banding, they are used to visualize specific regions of a chromosome. So these are also again MCQ questions. What kind of cells you take? Amniotic, chorionic villi, tumor cells, skin cell, lymphocytes, fetal cells from the maternal blood to check the karyotype before birth, if the fetus is normal or not. So what kind of tissues are appropriate? It should be stimulated to undergo cell division, because we are doing in lab. It is only during the mitosis that we can see the distinct chromosome and with a light microscope, so that we can see the defect, if there is any defect in the fetus before birth. So it can be aborted timely, or it can be treated if possible, if any of the treatment can be done. So this is a procedure that is again given. How do we do the procedure in the lab? And this is a picture which is again illustration showing you the male and female normal karyotype. Abnormalities, one example, 2 3 example I want to show you. It is an example where you can see the translocation process. It is a very important abnormality. That is, you must have heard about the Philadelphia chromosome. So here the translocation has occurred between the 9th and the 22nd chromosome, which can be detected through the karyotype studies very easily. Second is the Down syndrome, trisomy of 21st chromosome, that we have already done earlier also. It is a very important technique. Karyotype is a very important technique to view these kinds of defects. This is the Turner syndrome. This is a Turner syndrome, X0 condition, right? This is a Klinefelter syndrome, where you can see the XXY, triple XY, 4XY. These conditions can be easily identified through karyotyping. So you have got the answers. What do karyotype tests look for? What are we looking for? We are looking for the defects in the fetus before birth, so that we can treat the same with more accuracy, or we can let it go off. So it is a very important test. The two tests actually occurs: chorionic villus sampling, CVS. So doctors, they use a very long needle. They remove a small sample of your baby cells from the chorionic villi layer. There are the tissue within the placenta. Placenta, it is a nourishing organ. So these cells are then sent to the lab, where they are studied. And what is the study? It is actually the karyotype study. So if they see for trisomies or aneuploidy or anything like that. Second test is the amniocentesis, which you must have heard. So doctors get the sample of a baby cell by taking the small amount of amniotic fluid. So chorionic villi can be used, or amniotic fluid can be used. So again, same genetic problems can be detected via these kinds of tests. So they can offer you to take out the decision what you want actually after the result is, if the result is negative. So next is the karyotype of Drosophila. Now the Drosophila has diploidy number 2n is equal to 8. It consists of 3 pairs of autosomes, that is pair number 2nd, 3rd and 4th are autosomes, and only 1 pair of sex chromosome, which is pair number 1. Y is submetacentric. So different banding techniques of mammals are used also. They are used to identify mitotic chromosomes of Drosophila. Now, the first description of mitotic chromosome of Drosophila was made by Stevens in 1912. He observed 4 pairs of chromosome in Spermatogonia and Oogonia, and then later on comparative studies were performed by various other authors, and they came out with the result that it consists of 2n is equal to 8, and the other details that I have told you. So this is the same thing that the slide is showing you. Now you should know the classification of Drosophila also. It belongs to class Insecta, order Riptra, family Drosophilidae, genus Drosophila. Then we don't need to go ahead of genus. So we know that Drosophila is typically used in research due to its very rapid life cycle, simple genetics with only 4 pairs of chromosome and large number of offspring per generation. So, and it also has very large geographical range. It can survive in at many places. It is a common pest in homes, restaurants, and other places. And it is one of the most studied organism in biological research. It is a model organism in genetics and developmental biology, as you have already studied the developmental genetics of Drosophila, and because it has also impact on environmental studies also and mutagenesis. This picture is showing you the genomic information where the National Cell Biological Center has given the ID, ploidy is diploid, number of chromosome 8, and year of completion of its genome have been sequenced by the year 2015. This is a pictorial picture of that you have to draw the karyotype of Drosophila male and female. The first figure is XX is female Drosophila and XY is see the shape of the Y chromosome. It is submetacentric. It is a male Drosophila. And the second two are 12. These are what? These are autosomes, second, third, and fourth. And see the length of the fourth chromosome. So fourth autosome, it is very, very small in size with respect to the sex chromosomes. So next is we have to do the karyotype of grasshoppers, and it is very interesting. Like in grasshoppers, there is a lot of variation seen in some species. So in some species, it has been recorded that there is a diploid chromosome number 2n is equal to 23 in males and 2n is equal to 24 in female grasshoppers. So the grasshoppers use X0 XX system of biological sex. So that means so 2n is equal to 23 and 2n is equal to 24. That means x0 and xx system of sex determination, like we have xx and xy. In males they have single x. That is why the total number of chromosome will be 23. So females have 2x chromosomes, so the total number of chromosome in females will be 24. This is a sexual dimorphism with respect to karyotype. So grasshoppers of family Acrididae, they have great uniformity in both chromosome number and chromosome morphology. About 90% they are uniform and they have karyotype like this. 2n is equal to 22 autosomes plus x0 in case of both males and females. Some species have 2n is equal to 23 and 24. So this is a figure. See the figure number A. It has 11 it has 22 autosomes and 1 x0. It is male. It is a karyotype of male grasshopper. And B figure is the 2n is equal to 24. Since there is double x, it is a karyotype of female grasshopper. And C figure is actually showing you the C banding of mitotic metaphase from one of the species of grasshopper. So that's all about the karyotypy of grasshopper, Drosophila and humans.